We Slavs are popular with being jacked, strong and very fitness minded. For example, every Slav babushka can easily bench press a whole pig. But how do we Slavs get so strong? Well, we eat the right fitness food, which sometimes is chicken and rice, like I've shown you before. However, that can get boring really quickly, so today we are spicing it up. We'll have pork, bulgur, which is a very interesting type of grains, and a lot of vegetables. By the way, any seasonal vegetables would work perfectly, and this dish is quite versatile. The bulgur part is called pIlaf, and it's quite popular not only here but in the Middle East too. And if you are up for seeing how to prepare a tasty dinner for everyone, just stick up with the video. Now let's see the shopping list. Today we are preparing a full-blown Slav dinner. You need 600 to 700 grams of pork tenderloin, around 300 milliliters of good white wine.
Да не го изпиеш, ей, то е за готвене.
Onions, garlic, veggies by choice, you can use frozen or seasonal ones. 200 grams of bulgur, 1 zucchini.
Спри да ми крадеш чиквите, ей.
Some oil for cooking, salt, paprika, pepper, some dill and some spearmint. If you don't like these herbs, feel free to use other ones, and we'll use some additional stuff which I'll show you in the process of cooking. Also some chicken broth if you have some available. As we have the products, let's see how to prepare this balanced meal, which I'll call Slav because I just invented it one day. First we need to prepare our meat.
Директно от прасето в тигана.
Remove the silver skins and some fatty parts. This will make our meat extra tender. Make sure you're using a sharp knife, and this will be quite an easy process. Just look after your fingers. Cut it into 1 finger thick pieces and season it well. We start with thyme and pepper, adding some salt and the juice from 1 lemon. Adding some sweetness either by adding honey or some agave syrup. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Which is totally Slav. This is agave, I know.
Агаве, каква та глупост бе?
Mix a little bit and leave it in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours. When it's time to cook, get it out of the fridge and leave it on room temperature for 30 to 40 minutes. Start preparing your vegetables. Clean the zucchini in random pieces. I cut it in big ones as it tends to shrink and I don't want it to get lost in our pIlaf. Yes, the bulgur part will be a kind of pIlaf or pilavi, or yeah, depends on where you live, it's pronounced differently. We pronounce it pIlaf. Prepare the onions and the garlic by first peeling them. After that, chop them into small pieces. This will be their last resort. The smaller pieces, the better in this case. Oil a pan with some olive oil and arrange your meat in. Make sure babushka won't see that you're using olive oil instead of sunflower oil. Leave it to cook at medium heat. After that, oil another pan. Yeah, we'll be super pro here, using 2 pans at once. When the oil starts to sizzle, add in the onions and the garlic in so they can start cooking. Meanwhile, our meat has started cooking, so just flip it. We want all of its juices in as we'll prepare a nice sauce from the base that formed in the pan. Our onions and garlic are softer now, so it's time to add the zucchini, stir a little bit and add the other vegetables. Leave them to cook for some time.
Така, хубаво да си пуснат аромата.
Meanwhile, time to get our meat out of the pan. I'll just use a strainer and we'll leave it aside so we can prepare the sauce in the pan. Add in white wine in the pan and wait for it to start boiling, so yeah, it can evaporate, it will leave its taste in the pan, so don't worry, it will be the base for our sauce. Add in 30 to 40 grams of butter and wait for it to start melting. This will enrich our sauce very well. The veggies meanwhile softened up, so add in the tomatoes and the bulgur. Give it a nice stir so everything is mixed well. Get the chicken broth or just water if you don't have broth and cover everything with it. If you don't have broth, just add a cubed bouillon, it will add a nice taste.
По-добре с бульон.
adding all the spices, freshly ground pepper, paprika, spearmint, salt, and stir a little bit. I especially like the spearmint and the smoked paprika in this case, they give a very nice depth of the flavor of this dish. Leave it to simmer with the lid on medium heat. Meanwhile, our sauce was reduced a little bit, so I'll just add some dried porcini mushrooms. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right again, so sorry. These mushrooms would add a great taste and I love them very much. You can totally skip them, but they are quite strong in flavor, so yeah, if you're adding them, make sure to add just a little bit. I also added some more wine, a lot of thyme and some salt. And of course, we need to thicken our sauce a little bit. I made a slurry out of cornstarch and water. You don't need a lot of it, a tablespoon of cornstarch should do the job perfectly, just mix it with cold water and you're fine. Stir everything well, it will thicken very fast, so you should be fast too. Get the meat back in the pot and cover with the lid. Meanwhile, our bulgur has taken all the liquid and has cooked. Now it's perfectly soft and all the veggies are cooked well. Give it a final mix and look at these nice colors. It looks perfect.
Добре, добре.
Our meat is also ready and the sauce smells perfect. I'll get everything in containers so I can put it in the fridge. This is, by the way, something like a Slav meal prep. This is a perfect way to cook a dinner in advance for 2 to 3 days. Typically, I do this on the weekend, so I have a nice meal when I get home after a busy day. The meat is very tender as we remove the silver skin and cut it into the sauce. I like to put my sauce in another container so I can easily portion it at a later stage. A Slav difficulty level, I would say 3 out of 5 as we are preparing two things simultaneously, which is the hard part here. The good thing is that the recipes are versatile and easy to follow and there's nothing much to mess up. Also, you can pick only one of these and yeah, they can be cooked by themselves. And we're done. A nice bowl of pilaf with some pepper on top, a bowl of sauce, 3 to 4 chunks of meat.
Служи повече месо, бе.
Looks perfect and is very tasty. Make sure to give it a try and let me know if you liked it. You can experiment quite a bit with the veggies and the herbs. Also, you can use other types of meat. Works great with chicken thighs and even chicken breast. That was it for today, comrades. I hope you like this Slavic goodness and Slav you next time.
Бри, ще стани човек от тоя.